We're here in the Blackmagic booth at NAB 2014. Blackmagic's new studio camera is one of our top 5 picks for churches from the show. I'm here with Dan May, president of Blackmagic Design USA. Dan, can you tell us more about the new studio camera?
Of course, I would love to. So this is our new Blackmagic studio camera. As we've released cameras over the years, we've seen them used for many different purposes, and what we really wanted to do this year was create a single-purpose camera strictly for live production. So one of the tasks we had at hand was trying to create the smallest production camera we could with the largest viewfinder. So that's what's made this design decision, having this really compact camera. And then on the back, we see we have this really large, beautiful 10-inch HD viewfinder. The camera itself is pretty simple. You're going to see menu design much like you'll see on our current cinema cameras. It's not a touchscreen because we do want it to be bright, but it's very simple and easy to navigate. And you're going to see buttons on here that are going to be things like our push to talk and our ability to do tally on these cameras, which make them perfect for live production. What we see on this side of the camera is some of our inputs and outputs. Because it's a live production camera, we do have an actual battery in here that will last 4 hours, but we do use a 12-volt standard 4-pin broadcast power. You're also going to see on here that we have both optical fiber in and out, as well as SDI in and out. This is important because we want to be able to obviously be a live production camera where we're sending an output, but we have new features in our ATEM software where we can take and have program out come back to the camera, as well as CCU camera control, being able to control the cameras from the ATEM software. The cameras themselves are using an active micro 4/3 mount. We felt that active micro 4/3 was the best solution for the camera. It allows us to use cost-effective still camera lenses, but it's also highly adaptable where we could make it a ring and have an adapter to be able to go to PL or other lens mounts adapters as well.
We're here in the Canon booth at NAB 2014. I'm with Larry Thorpe, Senior Fellow with Canon USA. Canon's XF205 camcorder is one of our top 5 products for churches from NAB 2014. Larry, can you tell us more about the XF205?
It'll be my pleasure. The XF205 is the latest in our XF series. If you take a look at it, you'll see how compact it is, and it's hard to believe that something so small has a 20-to-1 zoom lens. And we put the 3 rings for zoom, iris, and focus on that lens. The next great feature of the XF205 is on the capture side, the recording side. And what we now have in this camcorder, 2 recording codecs. One is the well-established MPEG-2 that's used by broadcasters all over the world. In addition, we have an MPEG-4 codec, and that has an MP4 file wrapper, which makes it wonderful for web programming. And that's on an SD card in the rear of the camera, just here. The MPEG-2 recordings, they are done on compact flash cards, and there's 2 of them plug into the side of the camcorder. Another great feature, again reflective of the requests of many customers, is connectivity. On the rear of the camera, over here, we give you an HD SDI output, so you can bring out an uncompressed 422 HD. If you want to bring out the 60p, 1080 60p, we have an additional connection, a 3G SDI connector that allows you to bring the 60p out if you want to record uncompressed 1080 60p or 1280 60p. There's connectors for timecode, for Genlock. There's an HDMI connector if you want to connect to a monitor. And we've added an Ethernet connector. And finally, it has 4 channels of audio, each with its own level control.
We're here in the Livestream booth. Livestream's studio control surface is one of our top 5 picks for churches from NAB 2014. I'm here with producer Nathan Lundy to tell us more about the product. Nathan.
Thank you. All right, so here we go. We're going to start out with our control surface. And one of the greatest features about our control surface here is that we allow you to do 3 graphic overlays over all of your video. So it's basically 3 downstream keys, and you can cue multiple layers in each of those graphic layers. So we could bring up a title here, James Wood, the actor, and we can just push that right into our program, nice and easy. And you can do this with infinite amount of layers per downstream key. Also, one of the great features that a lot of switchers don't include is the ability to control your audio directly from your control surface. So we have these built-in faders right here that can adjust the volume of all these inputs independently right from the control surface directly for the producer to edit and use. These built-in LED displays throughout the control surface really give us the ability to add features when we do updates. So the hardware is actually very expandable. It adds a lot of functionality in the future when we keep adding new options to the software. So the greatest part about Studio and the Livestream products is that all of our software is the same across all of our switchers. We have the HD51, which is a 5-camera switcher. We have the HD510, that is a 5-input switcher with a built-in screen. And we have a 17-input switcher as well. And the greatest part about this control surface is that it works with all of those units and our past machines like the HD500. For the 17-input over here, it's just a simple expansion bay to add the rest of your inputs into your switcher.
I'm with John Tatoulis, Chief Business Development Officer at Sound Devices. Sound Devices' PIX 270i digital video recorder is one of our top 5 products for churches from NAB 2014. John, can you tell us more about the PIX 270i?
I sure will, Brian. Thank you. The PIX 270i is our brand new production video recorder. And what this device has is a variety of tools that are perfect for a wide range of applications. Multicam video, multi-track audio production, or productions that combine both multi-track video and multi-track audio. The 270 is a deck that records to 2 drives. There's 2 drives available for it, 2 front-mounted drives, and it records Apple ProRes or Avid DNX HD video in codecs up to ProRes 4x4 and down to ProRes Proxy, and records those QuickTime files to the drives. There's up to 4 drives available to be recorded, so you can have an immediate backup, or for very long-form programs, it will do sequential recording from drive to drive. The PIX 270 also has a fair amount of audio capability, and that audio capability is up to 64 tracks of audio. The audio interface is either embedded SDI, analog, AES digital, 64 channels of MADI, either optical or coaxial, and 64 channels of Dante audio over Ethernet. So with all of those available input types, you can select any of those input types and record to up to 64 tracks. The 270 also has an audio-only mode, allowing you to record broadcast wave files with full broadcast wave metadata. The PIX 270 is a fully network-controlled device and network-accessible device. When the device is interconnected with multiple 270s, you can build a very cost-effective video server where you have frame-accurate recording, frame-accurate playback. Additionally, over the network, you can query the box. It has an embedded web server, and you can fully control the menus, you can fully control the transport. The 270 has 2 DC power connections, so in critical applications, you can have it powered off of 2 DC supplies. In addition to that, it has a tool called PowerSafe. If all DC is lost, if you're in a production environment and everything goes down, the device will maintain power for 10 seconds and keep the device powered and then gracefully shut down all operations and then shut the unit down. So that's essentially a built-in UPS into the device. The PIX 270 is brand new. We're introducing it here at the show, and it is available this month.
We're here in the Yamaha booth at NAB 2014. I'm with Kevin Kimmel, product manager for the mixing consoles with Yamaha. Yamaha's QL series digital audio mixing consoles is one of our top 5 products for churches from NAB 2014. Kevin, can you tell us more about the QL series?
Sure. So, I'll run you through a few features here. One of the cool things about QL Day One right now is we have a Dugan auto mixer built in. So if I created a shortcut, let me just go to it here real quick. So it mounts up in the EQ rack. When I touch on it, here we've got 8 channels of auto mix. I can load it up in either in banks of 8 or 16 channels of auto mix. So for the house of worship, where this is great is when you've got conferences or if you have a wedding, any two mics open that I have a tendency to be on the verge of feedback or you just want to minimize, the auto mixer is, you still need a guy to mix, but the cool thing is it just minimizes the other mics when they're not being used. So another really great thing about QL is it has Dante built in, but it also has a lot of local I/O. So this is the QL5, and on the back we have 32 mic pre's on it and 16 analog outs. On the QL1, which is rack mountable, you have 32 mixable channels with 16 mic pre's and 8 omni outs. This is 64 mixable, by the way. So on the back you have a lot of local I/O, plus you have the Dante port, so you can use it in conjunction with a Dante network. You can use it with a standalone Snake, or you can use it and add to your system with the Rio stage boxes as needed. So it's a powerful combination when you have all this I/O built in and the Dante port as well. So another really cool couple of cool things about the QL series is it's in the family with CL. So the file compatibility is there, that you could take a CL file and put it into a QL or vice versa without having to go through file converter. Another one that's really cool is that with the touchscreen, to drive and get around very quickly, if I had two hands, you could see this touch and turn knob. You can very quickly get around and dial things up on the desk. One other really great thing is the custom fader banks. So we've got 4 of them on this console, and I can simply program in whatever inputs, outputs, DCAs, stereo ins, mix master, stereo master onto a fader bank that I want, and it's scene dependent. So every scene I can put just the faders I need in front of me.